Trump's not actively trying to destroy America in his eyes. He may end up doing that in the short term or even the long term. Depends on how that American worker is going to work, Or are they just going to import a bunch of, Vietnamese people? Is the Taiwanese company going to give them a bunch of visas and they're just making it here and they don't have to deal with the tariff and then they just win that way? But the American workers go, now my fucking town in Kokomo is full of fucking Chinese, right? And they go, well, we put King Tong on the line with Brad, and Brad could not reach over his stomach to move the piece along.
Can't get close enough.
He can't get close enough to the line. He can't get close enough to the belt, the conveyor belt. So we had to bring Ting Tong, right? Because that's probably what they're going to end up doing. It all comes down to the American worker and how willing they are to get back to work in ways that are very arduous. And I believe, I hope, we'll see. Would I be surprised if it doesn't work? No. Would I be surprised if there's a Republican administration that enacts all this and then creates some huge loophole for Mexican immigrants to get in there and do it? I wouldn't be surprised at that either. Because at the end of the day, it's got to work. Yeah. And everyone throws out their ideals that they pitch to the public when they need it to work.
But if they're here and they're paying taxes, that's good for us.
That's good for us. But the illegals were paying taxes too, but it also cost a lot for the border. We've talked about it. I think the border is going to cost a lot anyway, but the illegals were giving taxpayers a lot of money. That's over. That part's over. So that's going to be a sting too. It's a very complicated issue. Can we pull up Alabama where they tried to get rid of the illegals? This is just an interesting story people should know about. Alabama tries to get rid of illegal labor. This was one of those stories that was quite interesting, that everyone should know about. It was 2011. Alabama enacted the Beeson-Hammond Alabama Taxpayer and Citizen Protection, one of the strictest anti-immigration laws in the U.S., prohibiting the hiring of undocumented workers and require employees to verify their status. The immediate consequences of HB 56 were significant. You had labor shortages. Key industries such as agriculture, construction, and manufacturing experienced labor shortages as undocumented workers left the state or went into hiding. The reduction in available labor led to decreased productivity and economic output, particularly in the sectors heavily reliant on that labor. So over time, the provisions of HB 56 were softened to legal challenges and concerns about economic repercussions. And I saw interviewers with farmers just straight up saying it, right? I think 60 Minutes did a piece on it, or whomever, whichever media outlet you hate. And they were interviewing farmers and they were just like, they wanted smoke breaks. They wanted, Chick-fil-A, like, they just did it. And then you see the Mexicans and they just work like machines.
They wanted a living wage.
Yeah, they wanted a living wage. And they're going like,
they wanted to get paid for their work. It
just was a different thing. So they had to kind of overturn a lot of it, right? But culturally, they just said, we're just easing it. We're still in it. But, the workers just came right back and the farmers were like, I can't make a living doing this. These guys won't work. So that is what it comes down to. That's probably the name of the episode, is like, how much do you think the American worker is going to just get into tip-top shape? Are we gathering the bad news bears right now? Is it Major League too? Was that with Charlie Sheen? Uh-huh. Will they turn around and start winning? Because there's definitely a type of worker who gets things done quick for cheap. And a lot of times they don't got papers.